Hello and welcome to Kedrick Farms. We're back with another episode on the Minnesota Millennial Farmer map by Mapper's Paradise. And last time we finished up our soybean harvest. So today we're going to get switched over and see what we can do to get in on corn. I've left all my shed doors open too. I should probably start closing those. So this stuff is pretty dirty. So I think that as part of switching this over, we're going to give this a quick wash on the way over to the header trailer. And so we've got our handy dandy pressure washer here. So I'm just going to put us right there real quick and give it a quick spray. And I'm really excited to dive into some corn here and see how this thing does. We're also going to switch out our auger here. So I think the corn header is actually narrower than this bean header, so it probably wouldn't be as big of a deal. But I went in to edit this combine to see what I could do to speed the auger up a little bit, and I noticed that the larger auger will actually, big surprise, transfer more corn. And so the bigger the auger, the faster the corn goes. Go figure. And so that just saved me from having to make any changes to the mod. I figured we'd try it out, see how fast it could pump the corn out, and that will allow us to keep the mod hub version of this mod installed, and we'll go from there. Let's see if I can get us lined up a smidgen better. Is that? Yeah, that's what I thought. There's a marker there in the middle. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Okay, well, since I don't have anybody to stand out here and look, I have to do it this way. We're not quite far enough forward. Alright, fine. Let's try this one more time. That looks better. Header trailers are kind of wonky in Farming Simulator anyway. So I think our corn header is in the shed to our right. So let's sneak on in here and grab that. Perfect. And we're just going to roll on out back here. You can do it. That was just a love tap. And I just realized I gotta use the steering wheel. So I think if I look at our map here, we've got the big field and the little field. I think it makes sense to start with our smaller field of corn, just to get things set up and make sure that everything's working correctly. Oh, and I almost forgot. We're supposed to change out the auger. I don't think we've got a shop anywhere here, like a workshop. Luckily, I do have the workshop in the back of the truck here, and so we're going to use that. I'm not sure this is totally representative of how you would switch out an auger. I'd probably drive it up to the shop and have the dealer do that for us, but I'm not driving this thing all the way up there right now. So let's see if I can remember how this mod works. I think I roll this out like that, push M, and we're off to customization. Now, the one thing I don't like about how some of these mods work, and I don't know, it gets rid of my grain tank every time. I don't know why that is. Just double checking that everything else looks about right. Before we had this standard pipe on here, I'm pretty sure. It wasn't a short pipe, definitely. It was standard pipe. I think what we need to do is go up to the, well, maybe not. Maybe we do have, no, yeah, this is the more expensive option. So I think we need to go up to this foldable pipe. And this pipe was the one that's going to pump out more corn per minute because it was the most expensive one when I looked in the the file. And then our tailboard is right. Okay, I think we're good. So we're going to make that quick change. Pretty cheap. Oh, and it cost us $42 a delivery, so that's the cost of having the dealer come out and help us out, I guess. We're going to close this all back up and get our truck out of the way. We'll just park it right back over here. I don't think it's going to be in the way here. Maybe pull up a smidge to get out from the garbage can. And I think that's going to be everything we need to really be set up here to do corn. We do have the 12-row head, which is not that wide. We could probably run a 16, but like I said earlier in the series, typically you match your corn heads up with your planter sizing. At least back in the day before GPS was super accurate. That way you're never trying to straddle between two different planter passes. And so since we've got a 24-row planter, using an 8 or a 12-row head makes sense for me. And I've realized it's still a little wet. And so we're going to just kind of pull this over and park it on the grass here until it's dry enough for us to make this pass. And I'm going to get everything else set up here as well. And so I don't think we need to drive the semi down there. I think we'll just leave the semi over the pit and bring the auger wagon up into the yard and dump it into the semi here, since we're so close. But I am going to bring this down closer to the combine. And trying to think where I want to leave this. We'll just pull this in here right next to the trees for now. Get it off of the driveway. And what else do we have that we really needed to get started on here? I don't think anything. So let's just clean up the yard real quick and we'll check in when it's dry. So it took until just after noon for everything to dry out here. And so we're back and ready to go. We think we've got this all set up. So let's go ahead here and open up this field. I think what I'm going to do is take this pass down right here along the driveway and get us opened up. Now if I go in cab, I can actually see most of my header here in cab. I do have work mode on. I'm just trying to figure out why I was going faster than 6 miles an hour. Apparently we're set up to go 7 here. Okay, this headlands are going to be a little awkward to do in cab because we're not actually doing it right. We're not going between rows because of the way everything works. We are going to try a little bit more in cab today though as we get going down the long rows here. I think I just missed like a ton of corn though. Let's see here. Not so much. Couple strands here or there. We're going to get at least these couple of plants right here. We'll get them all. So we're going to go around, I think, the top part here and keep our auger to the grass on the outside because I don't think we're going to get this field fully opened up. Oh, I guess it's not as big as the other side. Either way, we're going to go around this outside here and open this up because it's the curvy spot. Get our headlands off so that we've got somewhere to turn around here, and then we'll start doing some rows. This is working really well. I'm digging this corn head. We're getting over 200 bushels an acre. We'd probably be getting more if I weren't straddling the edge here. And so that's pretty good yields for corn. I remember back in the day we were happy to get 120, 150 bushel an acre. Farming has definitely increased yields over the years. And this combine is just going to town chewing up the corn. It's amazing when you're going so slow in general, 6 miles an hour, typically what 1 more mile an hour feels like on a given implement. See if I can steer from the front. Nope. That is a most definitely not. But we're going to do it anyway. And so we are going to get full before we get back to the other corner, probably. I'm not sure. We're going to just take this as long as we can, because we can always unload on the road ditch side there. It's pretty shallow, and that'll work out pretty good. And so this field isn't going to take us too long. Yeah, but we're going to get to play with the corn drying mechanic here, so that's going to be super exciting. This should be a big enough load. What I want to do is I'm going to hold off on running the dryer. Normally you would put some in and get the dryer running as fast as possible, but because the dryer runs so quickly based on our earlier tests, what I want to do is I'm curious to see how big the wet bin is. And so we're going to attempt to fill the wet bin with this field before we start the dryer off. And so here we are trying to drive in cab here, keep it between the rows. That's what you want to try and do here. It's working out pretty good. Field of view always feels a little bit odd inside the vehicles when you've got it set to 90, but the weird thing is like it's not wide enough, but it also looks a little bit distorted with the way that things work in FarmSim for some reason. So it is what it is. We're trying to find the best balance here. That's why I typically play in external mode. This is just trying something new. Oh, I love the mirrors actually work. I've had too many mods where the mirrors are not real mirrors and maybe just not adjusted where you would expect them to be. Let's shut that down. Jump out into this mode. We need to unload. We're pretty full here. So I'm just gonna park this right here. We're gonna hop out here and grab our tractor. Everything needs to be limed again because I added multi-terrain angle after the fact on this map, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to account for that because I really don't think we're gonna be able to afford lime in all of our fields again. We'll see. I'll sneak under here and see how fast this is gonna unload this time. Yeah, that's a little bit faster. Not super fast, but that's reasonably fast. I would personally probably speed it up just a smidge for FarmSim, but it's alright. So I think what we'll do, now that we've opened the field up a little bit, is I'm gonna start doing these long rows here on the roadside, and once we see how much we're going to fill up in a single pass going down the roadside, we'll probably jump back over to the grain cart and unload on the go coming back. And we'll just time-lapse out the rest of this field and then go check in and see how the grain dryer part's going to work.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but there's no time for regrets. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe,
Trying to push buttons and drive at the same time. We are going to head on up to the yard here and dump this load. It's not a full load, but it's enough to get dumped. And the reason is I just want to play with the grain dryer while we let the worker do a few more passes here. And so let's try to avoid running into the semi. And we'll get lined up here. And we'll jump out and see what we can do. So let's first, we gotta open up the cover. He's gonna start filling up that. And if we come over here, oops, wrong button. And bring up our menu, we want to load the wet silo. So we're gonna push keypad 3. This is gonna get going. And then we're gonna start dumping corn. Good deal. We should be able to just get all of this straight through now, since we're loading and unloading at the same time. Semi is unloading faster than the auger wagon is filling it up. Should be done about the same time. I'm hoping we can get it done on a single grain leg. Nope. We've got to go turn the grain leg back on. Or no. Oh, we just stopped for some reason. Let's try this. Go, go, go. There we go. Alright, so that held all of this corn. So I don't want to run the dryer yet. We've got 3,406 bushel capacity. So we put 1,300 bushels in there. So we can put more than double that in there still. Okay, well that's pretty good. So let's do that. I want to load that all the way up and just see how long it's going to take in general. So we're going to go ahead and run back out to the field here and see if our combine is getting close to needing to be unloaded. It looks like he's headed back right now. I haven't seen the 80% warning yet. He's probably only on his first pass back then, so I'm not going to rush to try and unload him right here. I'm going to go all the way to the end, and we're going to wait until he gets back down there to unload him. Zoom in here a bit. We've got a little bit too much sun bloom in FS19 for me. It gets a little hazy sometimes. One of these days I'm going to figure out how to do the shader mods and stuff that everybody uses, and I think that I'll be able to fix that there. I'm not sure. I haven't played with that before, so that's one of the next things on my list to improve the overall quality of the videos and just try to play around with in general. And so maybe that'll make a good tutorial. I know there's a few tutorials floating around on the web, but every time I go to try and do one of them, I can't find the files or the method that they've used. So maybe I'll spend some time and look into that and see if that will make an interesting tutorial video or not. As always, I am looking for additional ideas on video content, so if there's specific tutorials that you think would be interesting or mods that you want to see included in the series, I've got a list of a few that we're going to be trying out over the coming episodes. And yeah, so feel free to leave some recommendations in the comments. I may not take all of them, but I've definitely gotten quite a few helpful suggestions over the last couple of weeks, so the suggestions are always appreciated. And it looks like we are getting full here finally. Get pelted by some corn cobs there. So we're going to go ahead and jump back into this 9RX and unload. So for our big field over there, I think we're going to actually pick up a second harvester, and we're going to set up some course play to help us out a little bit with the with that field. And so I figure with 2 combines going, I should be able to keep up with them with the grain cart, and we should be able to make much quicker work of that field. Unfortunately, there's still no overload mode for course play yet in FS19, so I can't set up a course play course for the auger wagon. I could if I had some kind of a wagon that could dump itself into the pit, but I'm still working on that. I've done something where I've set up a course and kind of sort of got overload working, but it just isn't as easy to do as just driving the grain cart ourselves. So we'll probably take grain carting. It's a little bit more action anyway, and see how fast we can get through that big 120 acre field. But that will be for another episode. Today we're gonna focus on finishing the field that we're in here. Yeah, I'm gonna cut in front of you. I don't know why I'm cutting in front of you. I don't need to unload. Yeah, we're just causing trouble. We're gonna come back over, we're gonna park it, and we're gonna cut into, oh, don't crash into me. We're gonna cut it back into a time lapse until we finish this field, I think.
Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me I can wait another minute. I can wait another second to be with you for an eternity. I feel like I am in a daydream. Every moment that I spend with you, with you. Won't you take me home and give me wings to fly? We can be alone in the castle in the sky. We can run away and leave this world behind. Please just take me home to a castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Castle in the sky. Won't you take me
Alright, so we are at the end of our first cornfield. Super excited about that. Let's pop our pipe out here and dump this into the grain cart. And then, yeah, we're gonna put this up at the yard. We're gonna go check and see how full the corn bin is gonna be after this. And we'll probably end up just running this through, since I found where I can see how much the wet bin can hold. And so I really just want to run the grain dryer and kind of see how long that's going to take, and see if it's going to be able to process everything in the wet bin on a single execution or not, since all of those things are on a timer. So that'll be an interesting experiment here for us to try real quick before we wrap things up. I am going to just park this up right in front of the shed, I think. And then, yeah, next time we're going to definitely get into harvesting on that big field. Wow, he's still rolling. Okay. Let's just use the jump mechanism here. And this is another 1,000 bushels, so this won't quite fill up our wet bin because I think the wet bin had over 3,000 and we only put just shy of 1,500 in there last time. So in general, I think that means that we're gonna hold 2 full auger wagons or almost 3 semis in the wet bin here, which seems reasonable. Don't hit the semi, don't hit the semi. And there we go. Alright, let's get this guy unloading. So we're going to come over here. I think it's 3. I'm going to have these memorized before too long. Load wet bin. And start overloading. Perfect. You've got all of this here, corn rushing through. Auger wagon's almost empty. Semi's gonna beat it, and then I'm gonna have to start it again. And just wait for the auger wagon to finish. There we go. And empty. Good deal. So now, if we look at our storage capacity, so we got over 2,000 bushels stored in here, and we want to turn this into dry corn. And so in order to do that, we need to wait for this to finish running, which it looks like it just did. And then we're going to come in here and we're going to push the transfer wet dry. And that came on. And then we're going to jump into our vehicle and start filling. And we're going to do corn. And then we're going to jump out. I can hear it running. I can see it running. And then if we come in here, we're moving our corn pretty fast. And so I'm going to let this run for a second and see when it stops. Nice healthy grain dryer noises going. Actually, the grain dryer in real life is screaming loud. You couldn't hear anything if you were standing right next to it, but we'll go with this. We don't want to have to adjust our volume every time the grain dryer comes on. We're still going, so it's not so fast that you're done in the blink of an eye. I think the grain dryer currently runs for about 2 minutes, I think is what it's set to. And that seems like about right if we'd filled up the wet bin, how long it would take. So I'm guessing this is probably timed just right to run for the full 2 minutes. We'll empty the full wet bin. That's just my guess, but that seems to be the case given that it's still running and my wet bin is now empty. I do appreciate that the effects of the grain dryer run out even though it's technically still in its animation cycle, that it's I can tell that I'm done transferring my grain because there's no more steam coming out of the dryer. So that is definitely well done. So now we've got 2,756 bushels of corn. We've got about 27,000 total capacity that we can store. So we're good for now. That was a decent amount of corn for a tiny field. And if I just look at the map real quick to give us a size, so that was 12 acres. Some of that's probably wasted versus, it's only 102. It's not 120. But with a little bit wasted there, this was about 10% of what that bigger field will be. And so at 10%, I expect to get another, 27,000 bushels. So we might actually fill up the bins here doing corn on this big field if it yields well. So that'll be exciting to see if we can actually manage to fill up all of our bins next episode. But I do think that we're going to call it here. And next episode, we'll dive into the big field, maybe even get some fall tillage going on at the same time, and see where things go. That's all for today. Kedrick, out.